Good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Ted Keller. Here's the severe weather outlooks for the next couple of days. There are areas that continue to show up, especially today and tomorrow. We'll, of course, start with today, Sunday, and a new risk area that I kind of thought would be issued for today is in effect for eastern Kansas and western Missouri, with a large area level 1, which is marginal risk, that runs from the Dakotas right down to Arkansas and then back over along the dry line in Texas. But this, of course, is the higher risk area here, this level 2, which does include Kansas City and also Topeka, Lawrence, Emporia, almost down to Nevada and over around the Harry Truman Reservoir and along I-70 there towards Sedalia, but not quite over to Columbia and Jefferson City. So that is, and I looked at this, the risk is pretty much equal chance for tornado, hail, and wind. And they're not real high risks, but I will start with the tornado risk, and that it looks something like this. Now, this is a 5% risk of a tornado within a 25-mile circle, any point you live in. So basically, find your city, draw 25 miles around it, and that's the tornado risk. Now, and again, keep in mind, and I will talk about this in greater detail later today when I have a little bit more focus, a little newer data, but these outlooks go for 24 hours. So as I'm sitting here talking to you, this is going to be valid till 7 a.m. on Monday morning. And I emphasize that because I think this tornado risk doesn't really even start till early evening and then progresses down this way, so that in the overnight hours, it might be a problem over here. And for folks living in the Ozarks, and that's most of you, I will do a special video on this later today once the morning data comes out. So around 1, 12 to 1, somewhere in there, I'll do a heads up video and update you on the tornado risk and all the other risks that go with that. And again, as I said, the hail and the wind risk are equal, really, and in this exact same area. I do want to show you that NATOcast does show about that same 2% risk area in about the same place. Other little scattered areas around Huntsville, Alabama, and down there around coastal areas of Georgia and northeast Florida. So that's the NATOcast. Now, CSU ignores this completely and has. So they're not finding any analogs in the data, and they are still emphasizing the tornado risk more to the north. And that is, I don't know if it's a bias, but it does show up a lot in the CSU thunderstorm probabilities, severe thunderstorm probabilities, that the severe weather usually takes a more aggressive move to the north as compared to SPC outlooks for the same type of severe weather. Hail risk is, again, kind of shifted away into the northwest more, and the wind risk is down a little bit more into central and southern Arkansas and northern Missouri. Let's take a look at what's happening here. So today, I'll probably go on a storm chase to eastern Kansas, northeastern Kansas, somewhere, start that out. I'll be doing that live today. I'll have more information on that coming up. But the reason I was kind of liking today's over yesterday's was that overall the 500 millibar flow is a little bit more defined and the winds are a little stronger over a broader area. Also, there's a little disturbance here. This is at 6 p.m. This might be arriving a little too late for the maximum heating and instability here, but we'll see how that develops. The bulk shear, which is needed to hold thunderstorms together so they don't fall apart and collapse on themselves, is, again, more widespread and a little bit in better shape today than it was yesterday. So there's more of a chance that the thunderstorms, instead of clustering together like they can do, and those can produce severe weather, tornadoes are less likely. This is just better looking. And I want you to notice one thing about this shear vector. These winds, and you interpret these as going like this if you're looking at those little barbs right there, and then right here they go like this, and then right here they go like this. So there is a small ridge that these thunderstorms will go over. So this has implications of what these storms will do. They'll form here, but then tend to move more southeast with time. If we take a look at the instability, that should not be a problem. We are peaking at 4,000 Cape, if not higher, in some areas of southeast Kansas up to around Kansas City. So there'll be fuel for this. I wanted to show you one little innocent shot here of the radar at is that at 4 p.m. or did I grab that at 6 p.m.? I may not have changed the label on that. I think this is 6 p.m. Sorry about that. Cross that out. Anyway, let's see here. And yeah, so anyway, just the initiation of some cells here and maybe up here as well, and maybe an isolated cell in central Missouri. It hasn't been consistent across all the model runs. Again, I will detail this, bring in, of course, when they update the outlooks at about 11:30. I'll tell you about that, and also do a special video, heads up video for the Ozarks. Then we move ahead to Monday, broad brush again. I don't think that any of these areas can be discounted as not going to a level 2 tomorrow. I just think it's one of those things where we're watching what happens the night before with thunderstorms. Like today, for example, the thunderstorms are leaving behind a boundary. They'll probably do the same tomorrow. And having said all that, the level 2 risk runs from northeast Colorado through western Kansas, parts of Nebraska. The tornado risk is nestled right in where that slight risk is, the yellow I just showed you. So central to northwest Kansas up into just northeast of Denver, maybe not quite to Cheyenne and parts of Nebraska as well. I'm not too excited about the tornado risk tomorrow. That's the CSU outlook. In fact, they put a dot about where it should go, but have no probabilities. Hail, in about that slight risk area. And interestingly, wind. Now, this is interesting because this is implying that the thunderstorms that form tonight are going to be early in this Monday forecast, rolling through this yellow area here. So this might be a daytime phenomenon for that wind, I'm pretty sure. If we take a look at Tuesday's severe weather outlook, it shifts to the high plains pretty much. So we have possible just kind of lee side of the Rockies activity, which culminates in a higher risk in the Dakotas, where the stronger jet stream winds will be. Again, it's about that bulk shear, 500 millibar compared to the surface, trying to get thunderstorms to organize in a way where they won't choke themselves off and become, for severe weather, you want them to become supercells, not just clustered storms. If you want organized severe weather that lasts a while and has potential to be stronger. CSU for Tuesday, does put a little bit of a tornado risk there right around Rapid City to the north. Hail, wind, hail being emphasized a little bit more. And again, we'll end with the outlooks here. This begins today and goes for the next 7 days. So it pretty much just recaps what I just showed you. And then this really shifts in the 7 to 13 June range to the northern Rocky leeward side of the mountain area up to around South Dakota, Nebraska. Very common for June for the severe weather pattern to shift in that direction. And then again, week 3, this oscillates a lot more, like I said yesterday. So I show it just to show you there is supercell accumulations going on, but this pattern moves around quite a bit.